But here's a little bubble with Old Town Road Bitcoin version or All Town Low.
I'm gonna ride my oats down to Old Town Lows. I'm gonna buy till I can't no more. I'm gonna buy these oats cause they're oversold. I'm gonna buy till I can't no more. I got my old coins by the bag, emotionally attached. Throw them on my back, got my ledger on my neck. Buying all this shit coins, you can keep your Bitcoin. I am broke as hell, but I will never sell. I am never selling nothing. I'm not selling nothing. I'm never selling nothing. I'm not selling nothing. Up all night on finance, ask me for my financial advice, and if I'm nice, I'll tell you what to buy next. Homo by the pump, panic selling dumb. I'll be holding bags, cause I'm never missing my chance. I am never selling nothing. I'm not selling nothing. I am never selling nothing. I'm not selling nothing. I'm gonna ride my hopes down to Old Town Lows. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna buy these oats cause they're oversold. I'm gonna buy till I can't no more. Buy coins, silica and icon, beat chambers. I can buy them on my iPhone. Yeah, I gotta have it, gotta have all the low stack. Buy it all time high, to my surprise, I never go back. No more fun, we can do all that. Everybody knows that the chapter's back. Wish we could pump back up to those old time highs. I wanna sail at the top this time. Gotta ride my hopes down to Old Town Lows. I'm gonna buy till I can't no more. I'm gonna buy these oats cause they're oversold. I'm gonna buy till I can't no more.
Well, there we go. We are riding our alts to all-time lows. We have been for a while. The question is, are we going to get some rotation? I've called this. I've told you guys, once Bitcoin starts to lose its luster, as Mark Cuban said, and as he dumped his Bitcoin, we're going to start seeing other rotation in the alts. And hey, maybe those alts are stable coins right now. USDT dominance is pumping. Bitcoin dominance is dumping. So what does that tell you? That the alts, right, are getting, if Bitcoin dominance is dumping, the alts are getting the money, right? There's going to be a rotation.
Except your token never dumps. The near token never dumped, man. There's only one.
Yes. Well, no. There's more.
Hype.
I was going to get into that, but no. There's some winners. That, clearly, like Hyperliquid is one of them. Injective, Night token, ICP. Those are some of the other ones. Zcash, WorldCoin. Did you guys hear Near protocols there? Near is like 15th on that list, though. But yeah, I like Near. Definitely like Near. But let's go in another room. First, starting with my voice of reason, Crypto Hermit. How's it going with you, man? How are you dealing with all this FUD? Hermit? Can anybody hear Hermit? I can't hear Hermit. Oh, man. Poor Hermit. Can't get his X app to work. But
must be an Android.
I don't know if it's an Android. No, it's not an Android because he usually posts what I drop in the pill up on the bulletin board. So I did drop my chart on the pill, so you guys can take a look at that. But yeah, let's see. Let's do a check in. Moni, how are you? How are you dealing with all this FUD?
I am doing great, and all this bud, I ain't going anywhere. In fact, I just bought more this morning and yesterday and the day before. So yeah, I'm really quite excited. I'm quite happy, and I mean, like, I mean, it kind of like suck, when you keep seeing everything drop every single day, right? And then you see a little green, and then you're like, oh, there's some hope. And then, down at it again. But no, I'm really excited for the future, and I hope everybody in here is too.
Yeah, XRP only dumped 8% when Bitcoin dumped 12, Ethereum dumped 10. BNB only dumped 0.57%, so it held up. Yeah, so Solana down 10.85%, Hyperliquid up 15, Doge 8%. So yeah, these are buying opportunities. I repeat this again. You've been in crypto too long when you see the chart dump and you look at them as buying opportunities, but that's okay. We all gonna make it, right? Let's go to Ming. Ming, how are you? How are you dealing with this FUD?
I'm good, Tex, and hello everybody, Morning, Hermit, everyone in the room. Yeah, you're right. It is fast. It is, but BNB is playing well, and Binance have lots of function released. You got to look around the market, and for my understanding is all the market can't pump forever, and they will be dump, whatever, not the dump. It will be going lower, and they will be wipe off some people, shake out some of the paper hands, and the real market will be start again. Everyone will make money. It won't be always like this. But are you ready? So people have to choose their good stuff to build it, to how to say, to invest it, and don't shake it out. I know Bitcoin, lots of FUD around. I don't know why, but it is something like a strategy from somebody, some big player. I talked to you yesterday. It is not right, but it is happening now. So it is scary, but I'm not. I'm just stay with BNB, stay with BTC, and I believe it is our future win here. Nothing we can do. Just keep alive, keep survive. That's all. That's all, Tex.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. I'm glad you're my B&B brother, man, because we have alts that we still believe have plenty of room to run. It's an Ethereum killer, if anything, but yeah, I think that what you said the other night, and I'll repeat it for everybody else, is that they are trying to scare you out of your backs, right? Like smart money volume came in 2022 during the bear market. That's what they're trying to get you to sell your bags. Peter Schiff is a troll, and he's been saying this since Bitcoin was like $10,000, right? That it's going to zero, and he's been wrong. And I think Bitcoin has proven itself. I'm not worried. I don't think it's going down to $20,000 or anything like that. I believe it's going to retest 60. But like, if you believe in anything in technicals, the RSI, it's oversold right now. So there might be a little bit of bump. And I gave you guys the projection, and I zoomed in on it, and I posted it in the comments. But my projection for 2026 is bearish, right? Like, it's only that this little relief rally that we have from the main correction, before we dump. And we've been dumping so fast, it may come early. And the good news with it, if it comes early, is that it's going to pump to all-time highs sooner, right? Some people are thinking all-time high by the end of the year. I'm not so much. I think there's a lot of turmoil, a lot of questions. The Clarity Act hasn't been passed, but even then, the Clarity Act is going to be great, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time, and we need bear markets. This is the thing. We need downtime to build. you know, and some people don't like that. They want instant gratification. They want up only, but we need this for the market and we need this rotation. We haven't seen an alt season, guys. And I don't think we'll have an alt season until we see, you know, another bull market. This last bull market, said this for years, it was a Bitcoin bull market, right? And so we haven't seen an alt season. Right now, the alt season index on crypto coin market cap, it's right straight 50-50, you know, and that's where I want it, because when the alt season indicator's at 50 out of 100, that means that I can play around with all the different alts, right? Buy up my alts that I have conviction plays in, you know, because it can go either way. I'm going to hodl my Bitcoin. I'm not selling my Bitcoin, despite what, you know, Michael Saylor said. You know, and speaking of that, Michael Saylor is he did talk about selling Bitcoin. Like, you know, he talked about it in the earnings call. He said, you know, buy more Bitcoin than you sell. And then he sold Bitcoin. So is he going to buy more Bitcoin than he sold? Heck yeah, he is. Don't be
What if he's not? What if he's buying another token like
That's fun.
secretly?
That's fun. No,
Oh,
he's not.
come on. I'm
No,
just saying,
it's fun.
come
Yeah.
on, dude. What if he
There's no
is?
second, you know, we can't throw out
Oh
all
my
the
god.
things he said. There's no second best, right? There's no second best.
I don't believe it.
You know, how many chairs are you sitting on right now, Moni?
A lot.
One. You're sitting in one. What do you need? You're not sitting in two chairs.
I am.
You're sitting in one chair. So anyway, that's a joke. Some analogy that Michael Saylor said, you know. But anyway, let's say hello to MB3, man. Living the life in Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. That's what I was trying to say.
Good intro,
Thanks, man.
fucking dork. I missed you, man. So Stanley Cup, I'm shooting
Yeah,
on Saturday.
nice.
We're down 1-2 right now in Carolina. Our first game of the Stanley Cup just started today.
That's
I'm
exciting.
shooting fights on Friday. So yeah, as long as my career stays intact and it keeps going like this, bro, I'm gonna fucking buy the crap out of this market. Yeah, that's about it. I'm just working as much as I can to make as much as I can to invest.
And that's what we've been telling people, you know, get a second job, work at McDonald's, do what you can, because this is the time to buy. You know, it hasn't broken structure. In fact, this could all still be a pullback. You know, I'm going to call it a bear market. So I was in a trading space today, and this guy still won't call it a bear market. There's still people that feel like, you know, they still asking for max pain. You know, they're asking for it, you know, by continuing to, you know, long the chart, creating liquidation, and, you know, causing the Bitcoin price to bleed. And that's okay. But like I said, if you look at if someone, I don't know what happened to Hermit, but if someone could post the chart I posted in the comments onto the bulletin board, you know, I'd love to go over it with you guys. You know, the white line there is the Elliott wave. You know, that this is the correction pattern. So, you know, we had that dump to, you know, I try to move this around. I've been asking Grok what he thinks, and Grok's recent Grok still says you know, it just may come sooner. It said Grok says if Bitcoin holds above 65 to 66K, right? We're at 65 to 66K. This is I did this yesterday. This is before it dumped, right? And starts forming higher lows with strong volume, it could be a truncated C wave, which you can see. Or an early reversal, turning the whole structure into something more bullish. Example, a larger flat or triangle, right? So, you know, you can see this in the chart. You can see the red downtrend, and you can see that, you know, the uptrend we've been in. Now we might have a second channel here. We might have a channel up still, but a second channel like the channel down, the 2 channel downs. This funny thing is, if you I'll send you guys another screenshot, but where it broke this midline is exactly where October 10th stopped, right? It's very strong resistance right here. So if we can hold 65 to 66K, we might see some more upside to the Fibonacci, which is the B, right? So I said the end of June. So I don't feel like this dump, the uptrend is over yet. Yes, it broke structure, but it could create, by stopping there and look at the distance. It's about the same distance to make another channel. So next week, I probably won't be here, or the week after. I'm going to be on a business trip, but I definitely will be posting, and I'll be showing you guys my continued, charting of where Bitcoin's going to be. That way, you guys can, buy it accordingly, long and short, and get the best trades in. I've been doing great, starting at that 62,400 to 83, and that 83 to like 69,420. 69,420 is still a good place for Bitcoin to hang out at the all-time high of last bull market, right? There's something in doing that that really helps, the whole thing about Bitcoin being coded, how it follows the Fibonacci and the 4-year cycle with its halvening and everything. It's completely living up to what it's been. There's no, despite what Michael Saylor says, right? It's still Bitcoin. He came in late, dude. And he sold, like, guys, he sold in 2022, right? And he ended up buying more Bitcoin like 2 days later. He did it to sell it for tax purposes, and then he bought back, and so you can ask Grok, but in 2022 he sold. And I've been saying this, and by the way, they've been false reporting 32 Bitcoin out of the 830,000 Bitcoin. That's not 0.0004% of his supply. It's 0.000004%. It's so little, but I get it. It's the message that it's sent, and I don't think this affected the market.
I was thinking maybe it was just a message, just like you said, and like I think he's gonna do the same and buy more at a certain point, and when he does that, like then the market's just gonna bounce. It's just gonna shoot right back up.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. So I think, and then another indicator is if you look when he posts that chart of the orange dots, right? Look, he posted it and it was like a day ago. And he said, what did he say? Working better dot, right? Like he's like, he knows what he's doing, guys. We may not like it, but it says, working better, Bitcoin reserve value, 62.24 billion, total Bitcoin, 843,738. And this green line is the average purchase price, right? So he's going to continue to pump it right here. He wants to stabilize it. He wanted to bring attention to Bitcoin. So I think it was mostly a message. And this is not hopium, guys. This is just, like I said, strategy, trying to analyze a guy that has been the best Bitcoin salesman, as Michael said down there. What's up, Michael? Ever. So this is what, the weekly update is, Bitcoin FUD. There was some other stuff, like Scott Bessent saying that they just took Iran's wallets, which I think was worse. Yeah, there's a bunch of other FUD on the timeline. Peter Schiff, that's the other one. So I would love to hear what anybody else thinks about what I just said and what MP3 said. I'd love to see if Hermit's back. I don't know what's going on with him, but let me message him, and yeah.
No, I'm here. I had to get
Oh,
something.
there
I
you
was
are.
I was getting something to eat, and took a little longer than I anticipated.
All right.
Sorry.
So how was your week? Let's reset. Everybody repost and like the room. Um, how was your week, Hermit?
Uh, you know,
How are you dealing
uh,
with the FUD?
I'm doing fine with the FUD. I don't care about the FUD at this point. Like it's always, when we're going up, we're never going down from people, and when we're going down, everybody's got to blame somebody. And like I've said it before, I think it's just mostly because people, excuse me, didn't take any profits. So,
Damn.
sorry. Um,
What did you eat?
Hermit's a big man. He's
What
like
the
he's
fuck?
half
Well,
bear.
that was
He's half
sorry. I literally burped right into the
Bigfoot.
microphone. Burped right into the microphone. It was my bad. I'll try not to do it again. Um, but no, I think, dude, it's just one of those things. Like it's again people who didn't take profits and have their whole lives into crypto, and it's just like, well, you know, people who have jobs who are making money other ways. I don't think are necessarily complaining. Yeah, sure, it sucks to watch your portfolio go down, but my goodness gracious, like just buy some more. And they're just like, well, the dip keeps dipping. And it's like, well, let's just pretend you only have $1,000 saved up. Don't put the full $1,000 into it. Like, just put a little bit. Then if it dips again, you could whatever, And it's like as long as you have a job and you can refill it, then it shouldn't be that big of a problem. It's like you either believe in crypto or you don't at this point. So, and like a lot of people keep getting cooked with stupid stuff. And yeah, so anyways, week was all right. Not ideal, but it's fine. I'll survive. I always do. So, yeah. How was
Well, I'm glad that you're not, as one of our members, my community members said, you're not jumping out of buildings right now. Like that's kind of how people are taking this, and it's like, dude, where were you when October 10th happened, right? Like we've seen more pain than this, and I knock on wood. I'm hoping we get a nice little relief pump so I can catch a little scalp, but I'm gonna be back and shorting, distance.
well, I'll say this. This is like the Austin Powers movie, like the first one where, you know, he's in the steamroller and the guy's just like, "Stop, stop," and he just gets run over or whatever. And it's like, dude, you see it coming. You can easily get out of the way and then do whatever. But it's like this one, it's like it's just a slow grind down that everybody's like, I don't know, uber depressed. The October 10th one was just like it's like you just got hit by the vehicle that you didn't see coming. And you're just like, what just happened? you know? And other people are just like watching it happen and they're just like, stop, stop, stop. And it's just like, dude, figure it the F out. There's a short button for a reason. So you can always use that if you think if people think it's gonna go down, then by all means, like just think it's gonna go down and hit the short button. But if anything, this should be one of those signs where everybody's all depressed now that it'll probably go down a little more at some point. My Here's my theory is that the Clarity Act, I think, got moved back to the Senate floor or something like that. I don't know what it is. Um, but it's
Well, it passed the
okay.
House. So when they amended it, it has to go back to the
Yeah,
House. The House has to pass
yeah,
it. And now it's back at the
okay,
Senate. So nothing bad. It's just
yeah.
normal.
No, so yeah, that's kind of what I figured was the case. And so my theory is that it was the whole slow grind down because if these banks are going to get into crypto, they didn't want to buy our bags at 120K or at all-time highs like everybody thought. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make them buy our bags at all-time highs," and then it was just like, "Oh, what's going on? Why is it?" It's like, dude, like, come on now. It's like these guys have been in the game longer than any of us, most of us have. You know, when it comes to like finance, but it's just like if you honestly thought the banks were gonna buy our bags at all-time highs and send it even higher, you were sorely mistaken. Like it's one of those deals. Like it's like, are they going to buy your? Did they ever buy any of your stocks at all time highs? Probably not. Like that's probably when they sold, and they're like, okay, we're going to short it. So, anyways, I mean, that's just my theory on that whole thing. So that's what I think is going to happen. Is like they're going to keep grinding it down. Clarity Act passes, then everything starts to turn around a bit.
Yeah, I just posted in the pill the October 10th dump, and you'll notice it went to the same midline. It's similar to the same setup we have. We were in a uptrend, up channel. We broke it pretty viciously, like it does, and it stops there to reassess. We might, because October 10th dumped so fast that it went all the way back up to the top of the bottom of the blue channel, and then that was it. You know what I mean? And then the wicks had to get tested, right? So, and then we really just recontinued that downtrend, and that downtrend it picks up where that red downtrend is the same red downtrend you saw that I posted before, right? So that is we're still in that downtrend, guys. What can I tell you? And like he said, dude, that's such a funny analogy, the Austin Powers, when it's like the steamroller. It's like, no, it's like miles away. Everybody saw it. It's just the fact that Bitcoin, pumped. But look, go back a couple other things. It did the same thing in from November to January, right? This time it was longer, and it didn't pump as much. But yeah, everybody thought, oh, it was getting close to that. It was getting close to that breaking that downtrend. Nope. And then now it did that again. But you know what's interesting, and I talked about this earlier, is I overlaid the 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 Fibonacci speed resistance fan, which we actually touched 3 times. This is the leftover. Proves the Elliott wave is in effect, is that it's following those Fibonacci's that the Elliott wave writes off of. So therefore, I still think we haven't hit the B wave. And the B wave, look at it. It touches that blue line. That's the fib resistance fan. It needs to hit that fib in order to we start to go down. So I'm not trying to like get you in a bull trap here or get you a hope, but I just don't think this dump is over. I really don't. I think the dump is going to happen later on. But if it does, where it goes to the bottom is that 55 resistance, and that's it's not going to 20,000.
55,000.
Yes, let's go.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yep. So 60 was tested and rejected. It will probably, if it does hit 60, it'll tap off it, and then it may recover, but it's gonna break. Once you keep pushing that buy wall, and we have a lot of orders at 60. I try to set a limit order at 60. I'm gonna set a limit order at 60, like 100 or 60,100 or something. I suggest you do the same, because there's some big orders at 60,000. But yeah, most of it is at 55. As far as the charting goes, some people are buying, on experience. Like I said, that 69,420, the all-time high of the last bull market. That was a symbolic. 100K, breaking 100K was symbolic. Half of that, 50K, is pretty much where max pain needs to be before we get the people that are the smart money. Again, I have to see the volume return. I'm looking at the volume candles that I posted, right? And it's not, cracking even close to what it was in 2022. Usually you'd see something leading up to it. It's actually been dying out, and Michael Saylor had to do something to wake everybody up. You know what I mean? So, yeah, dude, I think that, this is not over, and it's not as bad as everybody thinks it is, especially Peter or Peter Thiel, whatever. Anyway, welcome DP on stage. How was your week, man? I've seen you in many spaces, but how are you dealing with the FUD?
Oh, I'm loving it, bro. I've been calling for this for weeks.
I think we need that final shakeout, right? I'm more here for like listening to your TA. I'm not the greatest on TA, but I love the sentiment, and I just thought we have not seen, enough blood on the ground, enough people crying, enough random reports that Bitcoin is dead. We just have not seen that yet, and traditionally, that just needs to happen, as you put it. Like it needs to go to the point where the institutions can't think of anything else but to buy it here, right? Last time it was what,
Not
about
just
15,
institutions,
16,000.
but
Well,
the big
just in
smart
general,
money. You know,
exactly, the smart money, right? Like so, I mean, last time we went as far as like what 16, 15, 16, and anyone trying to catch a knife this time is just gonna end up like every single time. You might as well start DCAing as it's going down and just enjoy it, man. I think right now these prices that we have, 2 years from now, it's gonna be like that was the best time ever, right? Regarding the opportunity to buy and really set yourself up for the next couple years. I love traveling a lot, but it's the bear market, so I pull that back. You just reserve yourself a little bit, and kind of get ready to open up when the markets start to turn around. That's regarding Bitcoin, but also, I mean, everything liquidity wise is also sort of tied to Bitcoin. So, bro, my average buy price on Binance is still at like 38,000. If I ever wake up anytime this year and see Bitcoin that low, it would be like the greatest day ever. And I don't know what I'd sell right now, because I'm actually purchasing land in Suriname, but uh, I do have land for sale in Jamaica. But like literally, like that would be the vibe. I would be elated to see those prices again because it only adds to me. It's bullish because it shows that the original trends are still somewhat in play. If we go as low as 50 in the 40s. Smart money starts coming in. Bitcoin, we see the volume return. Uh, Bitcoin starts sparking again, and we go sideways for a time, of course. Then to me, that's just confidence that the same general trend that's been going on forever is still in play. And we could still, whether it's 4 years or 5 years, whatever the range is, we could still expect to see some gains within the next 2 years, right? So to me, it's not. It's only a bad time for the extreme maxis that want to hold forever, that don't really understand how crypto works, or the people that bought in with funds that they can't risk to lose. But if you're in here long enough, then you kind of expect it, and we have so many tools today that could mitigate that. Before, like, what would you do other than go back into fiat? Then we tethered everything. Now there's so much more options other than just tethering, right? It's so much easier now to just short. If you're a trader, this must be an awesome market for you. That's all I got to say. If you're a day trader, because that volatility, whether it's going up or down, you're able to make money today. 2 cycles ago, you had to be like a really knowledgeable person to do any of that in crypto. Like now, anybody could do it, right? So, which leads me to another thing, which I think regarding like alt season and everything else, is that we have more gambling opportunities now, for lack of a better term. People don't have to go into spot, so there's prediction markets, perps, et cetera, et cetera. And I think a lot of funds have been shifting into that when we thought they would have went into alts, right? Not just like memes. I think a lot of people pivoted to those platforms which are available today that also weren't so prominent in the past. So that's also a bit of a change, I think, to adds a bit, towards the change that we see. But to me, the general pattern, bro, if it's still in play, I love it. Right? I think for those who can't withstand like you know the times or whatever, like you really shouldn't be um in crypto. Like just to be honest, if you can't take the 80% downs, you shouldn't be looking for the 100 200% up, right? If you can't stand in the kitchen, just don't enter. That's my take on it.
yeah, man, and that was a good take. I wanted to talk about, you just said it, with Bitcoin, it got down to 15 when FTX crashed. It got down to 15,588, so 15,600. You know, and it quickly went back up, right? And that little, you know, it's crazy how much volume. That was the highest
Death weight, bro.
amount of volume in one day. You know what I mean? Like the market was crazy. We haven't seen that nearly. You know, we only saw that when the when the ETFs got approved in March of 23. Okay, and that's what started it all. But I want to point out that from that 69,420 all-time high in 20 November of 21, we dumped all the way to 17. Oh, where is it? 17, something like that. 17,000. I think that was the bottom. And then if you want to draw like how much, that max pain is, we're not there yet, not even close. So, but that's when the volume started coming in and starting to increase. When we had this recovery pump, right? Like the volume didn't increase; it actually decreased. The volume decreased as we got higher and higher. You know what I mean? So, like this, it's like you're stupid if you're buying right now, right? These are all the people that probably got into Bitcoin when Trump was elected, right? But the fact is, it took 220 days for the last bull market to hit a bottom, right? Before, I'm not counting the long drawn out bottom and FTX, but quickly, so we quickly hit a bottom like in half that time, like the 60K at least, right? And we're right now we're at the 220-day mark, right? So like we're doing way better than that the last bull market dump, right? So I just think that we have a lot more runway, you know what I mean, before we start seeing bottoms. And unless I'm completely wrong and we blow a top, they test 60K and they say, nope, we're going to all-time highs, but I doubt it. That is straight hopium. I think it's going to take a while for, and there's, like you said, DP, there's so much money elsewhere, prediction markets, the stock market's doing great, gold is doing good. There's a lot of other avenues where, and we don't have a lot of money. There's hasn't been a stimmy, right? We haven't cut rates yet, right? So like overall, this is kind of to be suspected, a slow bleed for a while until the money printer turns on or, the economy turns around. I don't know what else to say, guys. It's just going to take time. But in the meantime, we had like 9 episodes of how to make money in the bear market, what we're doing. I even set up a link tree because I got this text message from some rando, some anon saying, asking for $5. It was like, what, bro? I was all like, have you ever like seen like a panhandler be like, hey, do you have $1? And you're like, bro, is that all you're worth? Like, that's, like I heckled the fuck out of those people. I'm all like, you're selling yourself short, man.
Tex, do you have $1 million I can have?
There you go, Hermit. There you go. I do not. Not liquid. So, but no, I just think that, the sheer desperation of people right now, it says a lot. And I'm like, look, I set up a link tree. I put a bunch of links. Yeah, there's, referrals in there. But these are the ways, all those links is the ways I can make money in the bear market from highest payout to lowest payout. I even added those books that I'm reading right now, The Freedom of Money by CZ. It's a really good book so far. This guy busted his ass like I did in the software, development market before he started his own crypto exchange. And it was like he was in his 40s when he started Binance, right? And then Web 4 is our buddy Andy's talking about the future with AI, and that's another play. That's where a lot of money's going. It's like they predict that AI is going to be 2% of our GDP growth, which is very crucial to get out of this depression we're in. So, there's so much stuff that we could be focusing on and building and this time being. We don't need Bitcoin to go up. It is already proven itself, and that's what Michael Seller did. I'm still gonna roast that dude. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell everybody to sell a fucking kitty and never sell your Bitcoin and then fucking sell it, right? Like, I knew that he was gonna
did you
sell it one
tag
day.
him? Did you tag him?
I did a couple times, but I'm not, you know, because if it's like, look, I'm that type of person. I don't talk shit behind your back. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tag you. I'm gonna, you're gonna. I'll tell it to you in the face. So, if you guys want, you could drop, at Saylor, and the comments and see if he would see what we're saying, but I doubt it. And this space is not recorded except for on Rumble with EAC. Thank you, EAC. That's also in my link tree. It's at the very bottom. Link tree, Rumble, you can actually get monetized, and that's what EAC is doing. And I think Hermit is doing it as well. How's that going with you, Hermit? Since EAC is not up on stage. Hermit. Oh man, he's probably eating right now. But yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to be building in this bear market. Like I'll just go through it. Like I'm using a centralized exchange to trade. It doesn't require KYC or a VPN, so that's the best way for me to make money. I've been posting my percentages, not the dollar amounts, because that's none of y'all business or the government's business. Aster, the decentralized exchange, right? There's a lot of hope in there. There's a lot you can park your money in Aster and earn an APR. Like, that's simple, dude. Just take a bunch of USDT wrapped in Solana and convert it over to USDF, and then you get like 11%. And just all you have to do is maintain like $15,000 volume of trade, and that's not hard with leverage at all. Trading View, you guys should be learning this stuff. I show you all the charts. There's lots of indicators there. My buddy has an ape church. This is games of chance, but it's super it's completely decentralized, non-custodial. I put Bitcoin mining because that's another thing you can get into. It's kind of hard though, but yeah, that if you say you have extra energy like solar or something, and then I put in it, burn your Solana, like you can burn all your Solana, your shit coins and stuff like that and get your soul back. There's a marketing app. There's a lot of people that just want to market, and then I got InfoFi there. So there's so many things like that's like to get people started, if you're not doing one of these, like, what are you doing? Like, I really want to know, like, what are people doing besides crying on the timeline or panicking, or spreading like this drama? It's just, there's no point to it, take advantage of it. Like DP was saying, like, enter your shorts. Short money is easy money, you could pretty much, it's kind of like up when it was up only. You just, set a short and you're good. It just don't get liquidated. Use the right amount of leverage, and all that stuff is easily teachable. You can even do paper trading. So I don't know. I'm gonna stop my ranting. But what does everybody else think? Like, what are you guys doing to keep busy in the bear market?
What was your
Nobody.
question? I'm so sorry. What was I was
No, like
busy.
come in and sell out. Yes. I saw it. I'm gonna repost it too. Yeah, no, like what are you doing in the bear market? I know you're selling your clothes, but that's not crypto. That's Web 2. Um, Yeah, what are you guys doing in the bear market? I want to know. Like,
Well, let's
like
just say if I am like still like, well, I am still buying, but let's just say if I'm like an average Joe and work a job. No, fuck that. I'm gonna get a second job and work my ass off like I've been doing. Like there's one time and point in my life I was fucking working like 4 fucking jobs, 3 hours here, three, and it makes way more money than one job. So that average jobs that I had for like one whole day average out like $600-700 a day. And then I would jump into another job, and if that job is lucky, I would make 600. So that racks up like 1,000 something a day, So shit, man, I'll be plugging in like crypto way before I met you guys. I didn't even know how to get on space. I didn't even know anything about like Twitter or anything like that. I was just like, damn, man, like I remember I was just so fucking desperate. Like I wanted to just stop like working a fucking job and then going home and then like okay, that's it. Then on weekends I can just go and hang out with my friends. I got so damn bored of that life, and then I go, dude, there's got to be something that God wants me to do that's way better, because why am I feeling like this? Like I'm feeling like I'm not fulfilled. Like everybody's like fine with it, but for me I feel like anxious. Like I feel like, oh, it's not complete. I feel like I don't know how to describe it to you guys, but like I remember when I was like young, and I go, damn, man, is this all I'm gonna do with these friends? We're just gonna go and like study and go to school, go to work, and that's it. Like that's all we see from my adult, like on my like aunts and uncles and my dad, and I'm like, damn, man, like this got it was bugging the shit out of me for so long. And finally when I found crypto with some buddies, and I'm like, dude, this is it, like because I remember like when I was like in my clubbing days, like going out with all my girls and everything, and I'm like, damn, like I remember I told them, hey, you know what, we should like get together instead of like going clubbing or like partying, getting all fucked up and drunk and shit. Like we should like talk about like where we can do for investments instead of like whatever. Nobody was interested. They was just interested in popping out babies, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like I mean, nothing wrong with that, but then like for me, I'm like, I couldn't even freaking find a damn husband, let alone go pop out like 4 kids. Like I just couldn't. And then I just remember that. So then like that's why I'm like, no, fuck that. You guys go get 2 jobs, 3 jobs, like work a graveyard. Damn, man. Like there was time that I come home at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and then freaking gotta get up at 6:30 and get ready and be at work by 8. I remember that. I was hustling so hard, and I was like hungry, and I didn't want to be homeless again. And I was like, damn, what if I don't have any like buddy? Like I can't freaking like go bank on like, my life, like, oh, counting on my friends and counting on these people around me. I need to be settled, like settled down. Like it was just so hard, like, because I didn't really have good role models my whole entire life. So I just bring all that and I go, no, goddamn, like I freaking can't. I gotta keep going, and I gotta keep doing this. And I have yet found anybody that is close to what I am doing. And all I just hear is bunch of scrubs. No offense. Like I'm not talking shit about you guys. I'm just saying that, like a bunch of scrubs I encounter like on the crypto space, and they're sitting at home all chilling, and they're like, you could see they're fucking potheads and living at home with their mom, and they were screaming at their mothers on crypto space. They forgot to put themselves on mute. And they were living on like, oh, EBT cards. Like, gosh, man.
mom,
Oh,
mom,
sorry.
meatloaf, that kind of thing. No,
And that's what you're doing in the bear market.
that's fucking hilarious. Moni, I love, like like I said, I've been reading CZ's book. You need to write a book, because like I'm at the part where CZ's doing all this stuff too. He's riding his motorcycle and going snowboarding and getting scuba certified, and You know, it's like it's fun, and he popped out a couple babies, but you know, I relate too with the 3 jobs. I got 3 jobs because I felt like all I did was I made other people money, right? So I got 3 jobs, and if one of those jobs didn't pay me what I was worth, you know, I'll be like, hey, I got 2 more jobs. I'll quit. You know what I mean? So like that's how I did it, you know, and I busted my ass, you know, and I stopped, you know, clubbing. I got my shit together. Yeah, I did join the army. That was part of it, but um, you know, it's been great, you know, and I can proudly say that I don't live with my parents. You know, my mom has a house down the street, and you know, I go over there and work in her lawn, and you know, do the little things, you know, that makes life wonderful. And it's really, you know, I was touching grass, you know, you know, making sure the sprinklers work. Um, that is that this is what the freedom of money is in this book is like. I'm so hyped on this book. But yeah, Moni, I think you should write a book. I think we all should write a book about our journeys into crypto. I'm at the part where he's, you know, everybody knows this part of the story where he sells everything and just buys Bitcoin, you know. And that's another thing. Like we are at that stage in the market, right? Where like we do need to take risk. We need to take chances. You know, we need to work, bust our asses. We need to go all fucking in. Um, that's how you become rich, straight up. And like he's not the only. I read a lot of rich people's autobiographies. You know, I study them. You know, there's like, you know, there's like tons of books in business. And that's why like I insisted that like Andy, I'm like, dude, I need a hardback you know, hardcover book because it's going in my library with all other great people that wrote stuff, you know. So yeah, and that's, dude, if that's all you're doing in the bear market is research or studying, you know, that's fine too, you know, but definitely you know, put in the effort, put in the time. There's no noise on the timeline. This FUD is ridiculous. That's the thing. We're here to talk about the FUD because like we've dealt with this, you know, we've dealt with all this. Oh, what if Michael Saylor sells, you know, or what if this happens? What if that happens, you know, and we're still, you know, we're still convicted in our, and showing up and making trades and doing the work, you know. I think that's all the people that thought this was easy are gone. You know what I mean? And that's why these spaces are important. You know, it's to see who's still here. But anyway, I got a couple people that were trying to. Michael, had tried to get you on stage.
Andy
Um,
was here earlier and you missed it.
I know I saw it and I sent him an invite, but he was here as Blockcast. He wasn't here as his Andy. If Andy was here, there would be like 67 to 100 listeners in the grease trap.